what we've had is emotive and rushed law. You know, when the first tranche came through, most people were given 48 hours to respond to a select committee. The Council of Licensed Firearm Owners were given 24. We've had laws passed that were so rushed that it's actually ended up dividing the country. And it's put a divide, not just between urban and rural, but now between firearm owners and non-firearm owners. And my hat is in the ring because I would like to be a positive part to a new solution. I don't like seeing my friends being demonised, not when they're really good people. And it's not just about magazine capacity. It's actually a lot more than our rights to be able to go and see a doctor without feeling like we're going to be told on by the police. It's actually about being treated fairly. It's actually about having, what I have now, less rights than a patched gang member. And I think that's wrong because I've become a target and licensed owners have become a target. And all due respect to you, Ron, we keep hearing that New Zealand First with a handbrake on this government, but mate, you guys just did a burnout. You put the pedal to the metal and shot through with 2 acts in Parliament and an order in Council that just targeted the wrong people. Meanwhile, we've got the gangs out there arming up. And the real shame of it all is we haven't had the Royal Commission inquiry report to actually tell us what went wrong. It's ludicrous. It's so ludicrous that we've got police now trying to write regulations for law that is so full of loopholes and mistakes that they're struggling to do that. Meanwhile, we are having our personal property taken away from us without compensation, property that was legally purchased. The law-abiding are being persecuted, and the gangs are arming up and killing our frontline police, and none of us want that. And you ask, how good is this legislation? Well, we have a term in the ACT Party, it's just called far out, what a fiasco. Because that's what it is, and we would like to get in there and try and help to fix it. We're going to do this by looking to repeal the Arms Legislation Act 2020. That's the one that just came through. Now, it won't be a full repeal of all of it because there's actually pieces in there that fix the first piece of legislation that was rushed through, so we need to keep that in there. But what we will get rid of is this class system of firearms licensing. I don't know if anyone's seen the new classes, but there's so many they can barely fit on the back of a licence. And it's actually become so onerous that it becomes costly to the taxpayer to even be able to work their way through it. So we'd like to go back to a simple class system, one that's easy to work through, easy to be administered by whoever is doing that for the authority. Further to that, in an Official Information Act request I made of police recently, and I asked them, how many firearms have you seized in the last 12 months? The answer was 3,000. That's good. That's firearms coming off the street or wherever they were, where they shouldn't be. But how many of those firearms had serial numbers? And that's what we need for registration. Only 1,500. And quite frankly, when we're doing a COVID debt recovery, I think our money needs to be better spent in making sure that our community is still going and able to work in business than putting it into an ill-effective registration system. We also agree with separating the authority, that police should be only enforcing the firearms legislation, not writing the policy, not administrating it, not just the licences, but everything to do with firearms. Their key role is in enforcement, and that's where it should be, and that's where we should be supporting them. But we need to make sure that we have an authority of good people that can also make sure that the laws are being adhered to. The new ones that we plan on writing in consultation with everybody, including HERA. That's what good law is about. It's actually about having everybody have a say and having the time to have a say. And we come up with a piece of legislation that lasts us another 40 years. But I now liken the Firearms Act to the RMA. It started off at 26 pages, it's now 900 and you cannot navigate it. We have a firearms legislation like that. Started off in 1983, it's now got so much stuff in it that nobody can work their way through it. So we need to start again. You know, Ron, you guys, you flattened the tyre when you did your burnout. We need to build a whole new wheel. But we've got to do it together as a community. And then after that, or during that, or while we're doing that, we need to go after the gangs, because they are the problem. And the ACT Party have come out with a solution on how we can actually hit them where it hurts. And that's in their pockets. That's taking away their bling. So we want to go after that. Think of it as a tax. They haven't been paying it for a while, so...
Inland Revenue could do that.
Yeah, they could do that, but they're not. And the ACT Party are committed to actually going out there and doing something about it instead of attacking the law-abiding firearm owners. So thank you for letting me have my more than 2-minute speech.